Well, hey there. I didn't see you come in. Monday, May the 25th. It's Memorial Day. Big old thank you to all of the servicemen and women who have given their lives, all the veterans that have passed away. We wouldn't have the freedom in this country that we have today if it weren't for your sacrifices. And there is no doubt about that they're incredibly valuable. I wanted to, in honor of that, just take a quick moment to have a moment of silence. Once again, thank you. The men and women who have given their lives and the family members who have sacrificed their loved ones for freedom in this country. To you. Cheers. Speaking of freedom, it's a topic that I am personally thoroughly interested in. I enjoy my freedom. Anybody that knows me knows that I enjoy life. I try to. I'm filled with zest and vigor for the world. But sometimes it can feel like that is slowly being trampled upon, taken. And, you know, I think about sometimes back in the 80s, you know, way back when. Was I born in like 84? So it's like I had 6 good years in the 80s. Five good years in the 80s. And a good time. Went to the beach, flew around the country a little bit, went to Colorado before the age of 5. Some fun stuff, And then you know what I did? I had a lemonade stand at one point when I was real young. After that, no licensing required, mind you. We just set up shop. Table, lemons, water, sugar, 25 cents. And I'm your Huckleberry. Right? Good times. When I was just a little bit older, I started a lawn mowing company. We'd go and see if we can mow the neighbor's lawn for a couple bucks, $25. Time was no license, right? Of course, just went out and did it. I didn't get allowance. It wasn't a thing in our house. You did chores because you lived here. That's just the way that shit goes. Right? But as I got older, that core of kind of entrepreneurship or wanting to start a business, for the sake of freedom, right? I mean, it's paramount. And my aunt told me this one time, and it stuck with me, that, personal agency it's everything, right? Some people will choose to live in dire straits to avoid having to put themselves in a situation that's a little less than comfortable, right? That tramples upon who they are as an individual. What's up, Gonzalo? They feel as if it is necessary for them to take off and run, and get away from those situations so that they can retain and maintain a sense of self-sufficiency and personal agency. The other place that kind of bleeds off into with this topic of freedom on Memorial Day, what it really gets down to, I mean, there's different quotes and different sayings. There's one saying of a Bible reading people will, they can never be enslaved is one quote that I've heard. That freedom starts, within, really. It starts between your ears. And we live in an unprecedented time wherein which the technology that is available has come to a crossroads that space between your ears, that center of personal sovereignty, is not as safe as it used to be. What's that mean? It sounds kooky and weird, but when you look at it from a pragmatic point of view and you say, well, they're stacking data on me all day, every day, right? I mean, this is going up, got my face, my mannerisms, whiskey that I like, whatever, right? Tone of my voice, cadence, all of those different things, and it's available. But beyond that, when you get into some of the wearable tech that's out there nowadays, I'm a fitness guy, right? Fitness dig in your mouth. I'm sorry, that's a bad joke. Let's just pretend I didn't. Anyway, I'm into fitness. I enjoy working out and tracking in that field. And when you track your results, when you track where you're going, you definitely get better results. There's no doubt about it. Anything goes for anything. You track it, you'll see growth. And that's the only way you can see growth. You see where you were and where you've come to. So this idea of ledgers, this idea of the information that you have available to get to know yourself better, which that goes to know thyself, right? One of the old classics that are there. That's not only available now to you, it's available to, possibly anybody that gets a security breach. It's available to anybody that is malicious enough to kind of click into some of that stuff, which is maybe not likely, but maybe more likely than we think. You look at all the data that's been compromised over the past few years, whether it's been Home Depot, it's been this, that, the other. They've all where's that going? Who's taking over it? You look at China and where China has gone with the suppression of freedom in their people with the tracking and facial recognition and gait recognition programming and all of these other very intricate details. Now we are just strapping it to our wrists from the time that we go to sleep, wake up, eat, shit, smoke, drink, whatever. Fuck. I mean, it's all there. And that information's all available. Whether, you get any one of these different kind of wearable technologies. And it's the idea of freedom, right? It's like a chink in the armor. Not that there is something fishy going on, but that there could be, right? And you think also that sovereignty, that idea of like the space between your ears being someplace that you need to protect and you need to guard, is an interesting topic to me. And having as much data from your day-to-day, your in, your out, your left, your right, all of that available, it seems to me it could be a chink in the armor of that solidarity. Now, it's true, no man is an island, right? So we know nobody gets there alone. I just find it curious when you kind of take that idea of the self, and if we're not what we do, what are we? We're spirit, sure, that's true. What else are we? We're this body, right? That's another idea of what we are: the body, the spirit, the soul, our experience and our mind, our processing of things. But we're also very much what it is that we do from one day to the next. And the idea that that's now tracked and available, not only for your own review, right? Because that's great. What tracks grows, right? But possibly available to maybe not a great actor in some way, shape, or form. Dovetail that into the idea of the placebo effect. When you look at the placebo effect, and this is just shit that I've been thinking about. I don't know if it's got any validity to it whatsoever. I know that the placebo effect has validity to it, right? It is a proven fact that placebos can be effective in like 50% of the population. That's half. It's half. And when you take that idea of personal agency in the self and you externalize it into a device that is now tracking all of those details, it can be something that you need to make sure that you guard, right? It's very important to guard, and I know those companies are, they tout and propose just how protective they are of your data, but time and time again that data stuff has been breached. And so there's so many positive benefits, but then that idea of the placebo effect coming in and allowing a place of ambiguity to emerge that says, well, what if the data is not right? What if for some reason it's telling you that you're more rested than you actually are and you hurt yourself because there was some sort of misread? I'm saying that you got more sleep than you did, and now you're working out harder than you should. Says something goes wrong, it tells somebody their heart is going 130 beats per minute. Oh no! Well, immediately causes a rise in the heart rate. Oh, there's some tension. Why is my heart be going so fast? Maybe I should go to the doctor. Maybe I should figure out what's going on. Right? It's not that that would happen, but it's that it could happen, right? And if it does happen, that could cause a chain reaction that has some less than positive effects when it comes to an individual's physiology. And even just the mental, right? You think about just like you're getting up one day and how am I feeling today? Let me check and see. Oh, says I got really rested, bro. Oh, that's great. I'm really rested. Oh, it says that I didn't sleep good at all. I must feel like shit. Right? Like, so like allowing that determination to be made by some sort of external device or entity is, it's tough, right? Because science, it works. And then the doctor can take your temperature, they can look in your eyes, look in your ear, tell you, yeah, you're sick. Right? Let's take a culture, we'll look at the bugs under the microscope. You're sick. So there's so much positive and so much, like the 4.5 minute mile. Nobody had broke the 4 minute mile until somebody did. And then so on and so forth. So the tech and the wearables that are available, obviously, they're going to give way to a lot of advancement, right? And I think that we will see individuals pushing farther, and we'll see world records set, and we'll see people doing feats that we perhaps hadn't thought possible before, because when you get so granular on your detail, you have the ability to kind of push the envelope. Push it real good. Come on, push it. I don't have a sound for that. But you have that opportunity to really push the envelope. And if that's the case, and you're pushing the envelope, it's very possible that we're going to see those records set. But that again loops back to the balance, the yin and the yang, right? You have that empowerment based off of your ability to monitor, gauge, and perform correctly according to the information provided to you. There's also this fucking shit rolling around down in here. What's it doing there? What's it doing down there? I never know. And that's where I just encourage, I mean, again, I'm just some fucking idiot on the internet thinking about stuff that connects dots and tying threads together, like Carrie on Homeland, like, it's all combined, Saul. Anyway, you know, but these are just interesting thought patterns wherein which you can begin to see a picture that separating your identity and or yourself, relying on yourself, because that is a self, right? That's like a type of self, the phone, that entity, that thing that has so much of you, your friends, your phone conversations, your connections to the outside world in a lot of ways for many people right now, and then that deep and health data that is being logged. That also has the flip to it, right? And that flip to it, it could be extremely beneficial, but it could be something that is that's tough, right? There's a story that I remember I just heard recently about a guy that got trapped in a boxcar. He was a mechanic or something, and he got trapped in this refrigerated boxcar, and the door got locked, and he stayed there all night and couldn't really get out. And they found him in the morning, but apparently throughout the night he'd been etching on the wall. It's getting colder. I'm so cold. I don't know if I'm ever gonna get out. This may be my last breath. Right? They found him dead in the boxcar in the morning. Dead. And why? They found him dead in the boxcar at 57 degrees. The refrigerator on the car hadn't even been working. The only thing they could think had happened, or propose that had happened, is that he talked himself into his own death, into freezing to death. That's the power of what we tell ourselves. And so that's where that danger of externalizing the idea of who you are and what you have done, how it can supercharge you. It's like that Achilles heel. I have a tattoo on my I have to look at it just to, hey, is it there? Yeah, it's still there. It's a fucking tattoo. It's not going anywhere. I got a tattoo on my leg, on my Achilles heel. It says, don't self-destruct. There's no buttons that I know of, but the Achilles heel is the weakest point, and that's kind of the idea, that you give that idea of the self away. Man, that could bleed into some dangerous grounds. I've been chewing on this, and it's kind of a heavy topic, I guess. I mean, I don't think anybody's really going to take it that seriously, but it's just something to think about. I mean, we already live in this digital age, right? I mean, I'm doing this on a phone that can analyze my face and tell you what's going on, right? Analyze the size of my pupils and do all of those different things. Body language, cadence, all those different programs are available. And if you think they're not, you're wrong. I just think that freedom, does start between the ears. And it's important that in our quest and our drive to become better, in this competitive world that we live in, that quest and that drive doesn't leave us vulnerable to the blind spots. We all have blind spots. Everybody does. You don't know it all. I don't know it. Nobody fucking knows it all. You have a blind spot. I can be fucking up right now, royally. Good chances I wouldn't know it, right? Maybe I would. Probably wouldn't. Kind of dense. Those that know, right? Maybe it would. But those blind spots is the things that, this insane drive forward, it could be that we're leaving our flank uncovered. Hope that's not the case. Because I know I would love to get a whoop strap and get myself all dialed in and be like, I slept
7.345 hours last night, and I was in REM sleep for, the third of that time, and I feel like Adonis.
Let's go. Be great. But again, there's that vulnerability factor. I think it's important as we rush forward in becoming these new versions of humans that are intertwined with technology inexorably. We remember we're still made of flesh and blood. And there means that we still have vulnerabilities. Because tech seems so invincible in a lot of ways, right? It's so strong, it's metal, it's machine, it's silicone, it's faster than the speed of light, it's Superman, right? I mean, it does things that we never thought we could. Makes those things possible. And it's important to understand that all good comes with bad. To all light there is dark. Without the other, you couldn't see, right? The other. You would not have any ability to distinguish between the two. I think those are always important things to remember. And I think that's all she gonna write for tonight. That's all I got, folks. I don't know if it's good, I don't know if it's bad, I don't know if it's right, I don't know if it's wrong. It's just something that I've been chewing on as I've been thinking about stepping into the wearable tech world in an effort to improve myself, right? Because that's what I want. And, I overthink things. I'm one of those anxious,
oh, what about this? What about that? What about this? All the chess pieces on the board. Are we even playing chess? How many levels are there? I don't know. What are the rules?
That's kind of what's going on in my head all the time. And as Elon Musk, just to kind of cover, Elon Musk and his wife apparently had to change the baby's name because it is illegal in California to use anything outside of numbers or letters. Bummer, dude. Bummer. You take a big leap forward, which is amazing, and you do this radical thing with your son's name, and the very government that is trying to keep your factories closed or whatever says you can't name your baby that. That's wild. Now, who would have thunk? I never would have thought that anybody would have given a shit what you named your child. You could name your child a fucking picture. What's your name? It's a rock. Yeah, my name is Rock. Yes. Who cares what you name your kid? But that's a bummer. Sorry to hear that, man. I think that sucks. It blows, man. You should name your kid whatever you want. Roman numerals, letters, fucking Egyptian hieroglyphs, whatever you want to. That's another erosion. It's a reasonable erosion, right? I guess. I don't know. Oh, the other thing that I was thinking about talking before we jump out of here and kick on to the rest of the world. Happy Memorial Day. President Trump did a memorial service, and Joe Biden was seen out of his house, allegedly, for the first time in 2 months. He had a mask and big sunglasses on. Remember when they were saying there's two Hillarys? Is this the emerge? Did they finally age the Joe Biden clone enough to be all right, look, his faith isn't completely formed. We still gotta work on that. Put him in a mask and send him outside so, some people know, he's okay. He looks healthy, looks strong, right? They've been charging him up with tons of stem cells, doing Botox on him. Don't show his face yet. It's too tight. It's too tight. It's going to be an interesting election season. There's no doubt about it. I would love to see a third party. Third party? I don't know how many. I don't know what's how many. That's 4. That's 1, 2. That's 3. That's three. That's three. That's three. That's three. That's three. I don't know which is like the proper three. Like, is that thank you, I love you. That's three. It would be great to see like some sort of third party candidate come rising out of the ashes that has strength, but it's almost like it's too late in the game for that to occur. Fuck, man. So many pieces and moving parts to this, right? So much. It's gonna be an amazing election season. But one thing I do know, no matter which way things go, America is gonna survive. Because it's built on freedom. And there's a soul and a heart in the men and women of this country that is willing to take up their arms and say fuck off if it were to become necessary, ever. What I worry about is not being able to shoot at our opponents. Not being able to shoot at our opponents. I was listening to a podcast recently, Lex Friedman's podcast, the artificial intelligence podcast, and he was talking about how in the future, part of the school curriculum for, I think it's for the Chinese people, that every single school child is going to learn how to program to some degree. Not a bad idea, especially if we're living in a world of internet networking, computers, and the like, right? Just makes sense. It just makes sense. Know how to talk computer. It's a good idea. And that's where my curiosity, when it comes to the possibility of malicious actors operating against the ideology that is America. You know, it's not perfect. Definitely needs to grow. We need to learn. We need to advance. We need to get better. But those blind spots, we all have them. As individuals, as groups, as nations, we all have blind spots. If everything looks like a nail, it might be a hammer. It might not be right for the job, right? Everything can't be a nail because everything's not a nail. So you can't have a hammer for everything. And so keeping that in mind as we move forward into this new age of technological advancement and so on, I think is an important idea. Protect the freedom of this country on Memorial Day for the sake of the people that have gone before us. My grandfather was in the Army, actually in the Air Force. Another grandfather was a triage doctor, World War II. An uncle who was an Air Force pilot as well. Lots of military people in the family. And extended family, nobody directly. We were all too chicken shit to join. But we, still great respect for those people. And again, I'm just some asshole with a camera in some corner of the internet that thinks about shit like this and hopes that we're being protected, and hopes that other people think about it, and hopes that, hopes that freedom is not being eroded past what is reasonable. Where is the line drawn? Coronavirus, people out protesting, You know what I mean? Like, just running wild in the streets and like partying hard, and there's still deaths happening like crazy. But are they? Oh, they're not happening. Brazil's getting destroyed right now. But the president is saying freedom at all costs, right? And they're getting hit really hard. Hopefully that doesn't reemerge here in any way. I guess we're going to find out with Memorial Day celebrations going on across the country, which, fuck yeah, freedom. But, like, this is an enemy that hopefully, you know, and hopefully, is hopefully the right word? Hopefully it's not, you know, it's more fluff than it is. But, you know what I mean? Like, like, how do you reason that? There's no reasoning that. There's not, like, this line that you can kind of draw, right? There's not this, well, it wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be. Look at the economy, and look at all the people that are suicides. I say, a month's worth of suicides in the last week. Some places have been dealing with. I don't have anybody to, hey, pull that up. I don't have that shit going on for me. But, like, that's intense. And that's only going to get worse as we move forward and we look at the economy that's been suffering in the way that it is. But, you know, I guess the American spirit says there's always opportunity. If there's problems, they need solving. And if they need fucking solving, get hammer and nails, right? Screwdrivers and DeWalt or Milwaukee, whatever your drill brand is. You know, so it's an opportunity for American ingenuity to shine, and our ability to adapt, and confront whatever it is that we are coming up against. Right? Opportunity abounds in chaos. When things are all over the place, the ones that are able to kind of reorder things and wrangle them in, you know, they create fortunes. I mean, we see that's been true over and over and over and over again. It's part of the of the ebbs and the flows of the economic system, free market, as it were. And that's again a whole nother issue. The market does not always know best. It can't. It's just right. It takes checks and balances. It takes the swinging of the pendulum, the swirling of the toilet bowl, if you will. You know. It's scary to think about that coming around the corner. But I know that as Americans, we're going to find ways to step down, step up, and thrive in spite of these things. Interesting times, amazing times that we live in. I'm grateful that I live in this country, and grateful to the men and the women who have, again, sacrificed their lives to allow us to live in this beautiful country. Free. And here's to that. Cheers to you. Cheers to freedom. Happy Memorial Day. I will see you guys out there.